Go ahead and tiptoe through your life, digging in the dirt. You can stress on the strife, but I'm gonna fly past the worry and the pain today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith. I'm flying on faith, faith. You could cry all night about the things that you hate, so dissatisfied in so many ways, but I'm gonna find a way to celebrate today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith. Picked up my baggage and I threw it out the door.
Good morning. Good morning. I would ask you take a moment and share this with someone today. Someone that you know needs to hear that, first of all, living for God is a part of our health. Addressing our spirit life is a part of being healthy and whole. We know that being whole and healthy and distributing wellness includes our body, our mind, and our spirit. And I say it every day. Scientists have tapped into this and they're making sure that they are asking those questions, but they're not asking them until someone comes in with a disease or a problem or a symptom. But they're asking, how are you doing with your mental health? How are you doing with your spiritual health? Do you have a faith community that you gather with? Do you have people that you are praying with and talking to about what you're walking through? Because they know it's a part of making us whole. I will give you my disclaimer. And that is that I am not a physician or a certified nutritionist. So please do not consider this to be medical advice. You should see your physician before starting any exercise or diet program. And I always say this too. Isn't that amazing? Because we are neither a diet or an exercise program. We are here to discuss becoming whole, well people, looking at our body, our mind, and our spirit. So I welcome you in today. And today is Maunday, Thursday. We've been walking with Jesus in his last week of life here on earth. Walking that path with him, which is a part of our spiritual health, getting into community with like-minded believers. And in that process, recognizing that there are things that Jesus wants us to do. And so on this Maunday, Thursday, they were preparing for the Passover. And as they prepared for the Passover feast, they came together in the upper room. And I'm not sure how much you know about this story, but I want to tell you that in the Jewish, back in the biblical, that pre-first century church, they walked on streets that were dusty and dirty. And if you're from Georgia, you know about Georgia red clay. That stuff sticks to you and everything around you. And so they would walk through this dirt on a constant basis in sandals, leather sandals. And they also passed through things like sheep and cattle excrements. And so all of these things stuck to their feet. And at each place that they would go in, the houses, they would generally have someone who was responsible for washing the feet of the guests who came in. And so at their particular Passover feast, for some reason, there was no one who stood in that role. And so Jesus stood up and he took off his robe and he stood there as a servant with just a simple cotton sheath on. And if anyone had come in, they would have mistaken him for one of the slaves of that time. And so as he began to walk and he washed the feet of each disciple, he had a story for them. He had a reason for doing this for them. So think about it. It was the last week that Jesus would walk the earth. And the lesson, you would think the lesson he teaches at this moment would be the most important lesson ever. And so let's kind of peek in behind the curtains on this. I'm going to post the scriptures that are running at the bottom so that you can go and in your leisure, pull up the different settings that talk about this Maunday, Thursday, things that were happening at Passover. But one particular one out of John chapter 13, and I'm going to share with you at verse 12. And when he had washed their feet and put on his outer garment and resumed his place, he said to them, "Do you understand what I have done to you?" At this point, he's washed their feet, and there was one, there's always one, and I'm probably the one. He gets to Peter, and Peter says, "No, Jesus, you can't wash my feet." And Jesus says, "If I don't wash your feet, then you have no part with me." Good morning, Spring. He says, "You have no part with me." And so Peter, of course, goes all overboard and says, "Lord, don't just wash my feet, but wash every part of me." And Jesus lets him know, "I don't need to wash everything. You go take a bath, okay?" But he says, "I want you to know that what I've done," and let's look at why he did it. He says, "You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for I am so. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do just as I have done to you." Now, was he talking about their literal feet? Maybe. They may have ended up in another situation just like that one where there was no one assigned to do it. Maybe. But what he was really saying to them was serve each other. In fact, he says that the master is no better than the servant, and the servant no better than the master, that they should serve each other. Okay? There are no big I's and little U's in this. We're in this together. And so part of being well, remember I told you, is finding community where you're learning, community where life is being spoken into you, community where you can be refreshed and renewed. That is wellness. You can feel horrible in your body, but you can get with community that is doing what Jesus said, serving each other. And you're going to find that your life feels better. Your burdens are lifted. Your stress is alleviated. It is a part of being a healthy human being, is getting in community. And Jesus said, not just getting in community, but serving one another. This message was so important that he taught it in the last week of life when he knew he was about to be betrayed. And I just want to tell you too, a lot of people say, well, I can't be around this person because this person is not for me. I'm not telling you to put yourself in a dangerous situation, but I do want to remind you that Judas, the one who betrayed Jesus, was sitting at that table and he washed Judas's feet. Sometimes we have to learn how to pray for our enemy, pray for the ones who, as the word of God says, spitefully uses us. Pray that God will enter their heart and change their lives. And so today, Pastor V on Wellness, I just want you to know that the spirit matters. How you protect your spirit is a part of you becoming a whole, healthy human being. So get in community today. Celebrate the resurrection of our King and know that he says that he came into this world in human flesh to serve and not be served. So being able to extend yourself to help others so often is that part of wellness that we miss out on, that fulfillment that we feel from touching and helping other people. It helps to lift anxiety. ease stress. And yeah, you're going to hear me say that over and over again, because do you know that stress kills? Stress causes disease in the body. Stress has been linked to cancer. So if we can get in community, serve each other, love on each other, build up our spirit man, then we are doing something good for our bodies as well. Not just good for the people around us, but also good for our own bodies, our own well-being. I'm going to let you go on that note. I pray that you go out today and bless someone. Be a part of making them whole and healthy, and see if it doesn't make you feel better as well. My prayer for you, as always, is that you be blessed and you be whole. And don't forget today to enter something in your gratitude journal. Gratitude journal, 3 things today that you are grateful for. I'm grateful for you. Anyone who has stopped in this room and has taken the time to listen to what I said, I am grateful for you, because I know that if you begin to put any of the principles that I talk about into your life, you are going to be better for it. So have a great day, love on each other, and find out more about your spiritual well-being. Have a great day.
You could go ahead and tiptoe through your life, digging in the dirt. You can stress on the strife.